And if you could undo that one real act, the one real problem, all the rest would take care of themselves. And you'd never feel lack. You'd always feel abundant. But as long as you have that sense of scarcity, which is in the unconscious mind until it gets undone by the Holy Spirit through your practice of forgiveness, then you'll never really feel abundant. I remember my parents used to feel very guilty because they didn't have any money. Well, since I've moved to California, I have met billionaires who feel very guilty because they have so much money. It's like you can't win. You'll feel guilty if you don't have any money. You'll feel guilty if you have too much money. And that's because of that sense of separation that is in the mind that results in that experience of scarcity. If you undid that experience of scarcity, you would never feel scarce. Even if you were broke, you still wouldn't feel scarce. You'd still feel abundant. Now, I remember before I started the course, I've been doing the course for a little over 20 years. And I remember when I first started, I started doing the workbook. And if I had like $5 in my pocket, you'd be like, oh, I don't have any money. I can't do anything. I can't pay my bills. I can't buy anything. And that's exactly what my parents were like too. They were the greatest people in the world. They were the nicest, kindest people in the world. They had so many friends and relatives who loved them. And they had that mentality of scarcity, which actually sometimes prevents things from coming to you. And I did the workbook of the course. It took me about a year and 4 months or whatever. And then if I had $5 in my pocket, I would say to myself, wow, I have money. How much fun can I have with this? Not much, but I like candy bars. It's like, wow, I started to think, well, I have money. I'm abundant. And then money started to show up for me. A check would come in the mail that I didn't expect, or something like that. And a subtle shift in the way that you think. It doesn't have to be major. Even a subtle shift in the way that you think can actually cause you to have a different experience. I'm not saying that you're changing the script. The Course says specifically that the script is written, but it also talks about these different dimensions of time. It is actually possible for you to switch to a different scenario and have a different scenario, play itself out. And forgiveness can be very practical when it comes to that. Like if I'm driving down the freeway in LA and somebody cuts me off in traffic, then, that doesn't bring out the best in me. Cars do not bring out the best in men. And if that guy cuts me off in traffic and I go, I'm giving him the finger, well, what if he has a gun? I could be dead. That's one scenario. In another scenario, that same guy, same place, same time, cuts me off in traffic, and I stop myself. And I don't give him the finger. And I don't react to him. And I take the first step in forgiveness, which we'll be getting to, which is to stop reacting with the ego, stop thinking with the ego. Because as long as you're thinking with the ego, you can't think with the Holy Spirit. We already said they're two mutually exclusive thought systems. You can't put them together. You have to choose. As the Course says at the end of the text, you have to choose once again. Choose once again if you would take your place among the saviors of the world, or would remain in hell and hold your brothers there. And in the other scenario, I don't react, I don't give the guy the finger, and I'm alive. So in one dimension of time, I'm alive, because I practice forgiveness. In the other dimension of time, I'm dead, because I didn't practice forgiveness. That's, when I say forgiveness can be very practical, I'm not kidding, that's pretty practical. Because it's two completely different outcomes. And you have the ability to control time, as the Course puts it. And it says the miracle is your one device at controlling time. Course in Miracles does not claim to be special. It does not claim to be the only way to get home to God. But I think it's fair to say that it does claim to be a fast way. It talks about the miracle being able to substitute for learning that may have taken thousands of years. And it says the chief aim of the miracle worker is to save time. You know, that's part of what I want to do this weekend. I want to save time, and through the steps that we're going to practice in forgiveness, I want us to be leaving here practicing spiritual sight. I think spiritual sight is the natural goal of this forgiveness. And we'll also get into exactly what that is and how to achieve it. And